Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. I'm back after 1 week. So yeah. A lot of things happened, so that's why I'm recording the video 1 week after, because the video that you're gonna see this week is recorded after 2 days from my previous video, but this one is recorded, I think, in a 1 week gap, or even actually more. Yeah, a lot of crazy shit have been happening. So today I want to talk about the addictions and the problems that we face actually a lot, which is a lot of you guys, personally me, we all are addicted to certain things. Because right now I'm recording my video after, I think, third cup of coffee and 2 cigarettes. Yeah, as you know, in the last videos I used to tell you that I stopped smoking. If I wouldn't smoke till June, it would have been like 2 years since I stopped smoking. But yeah, I've been going through some crazy stuff, and I don't know why it was the stupidest idea that got into my mind. That it's like, oh, you know what? Just try it out. Maybe it's gonna help you with your stress, which was the bullshitted thought, actually, to be honest. Because even when I was smoking, before I stopped, I was like, it's not something that's gonna help you with your stress or anything. I don't know actually why I was smoking. I actually hated smoking, but yeah, here I am. Today I actually break that, and I smoked. This is my personal story with the addictions, but beside this, I've seen a lot of crazy things around myself, especially with addictions and addictive person. You might have said like, oh well, I'm not addicted to anything, but the fact that you're watching right now this video, like, just because you are planning to eat something and you need some video in the background, means actually you are sort of addicted to background noise, which is like, it's not that bad compared to other addictions, but it means the fact that you're trying to somehow silence the thoughts that you're having during eating or certain things, which I actually do myself, because I cannot stay with myself for a long time. Whenever I stop listening to, like, whenever I turn off the podcast or turn off the video, I mean YouTube, or generally like music or whatever, it goes crazy. Like, the huge flow of thoughts and problems hit you, and you come back to reality, start thinking about them, and not only thinking, but rather than overthinking and overwhelming yourself, which is quite bad. Especially, I'm actually suffering right now, since certain things happen in my life. But yeah, it means basically that we all are certainly addicted to certain things. I mean, we can include to addiction our phone addiction that we have right now, which is scrolling. Just, I remember before I used to start taking actions toward my phone scroll addiction, I used to have the habit that I used to basically, even there is nothing on Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube Shorts, I would have just actually turn on my phone, unlock it, and just, like, scroll the menu. Because I was already exhausted, I didn't want it to watch anymore. I didn't want it to sit anymore in Instagram Reels, TikTok Shorts, but still, I needed to scroll something, I need to do something, which I still struggle at a certain point, because 4 or 5 years of constant scrolling is not that easily to overcome. But yeah, what I did was I actually deleted everything, and I download everything once a month, in order just to check if somebody wrote me something or I need to deal with certain problems, and then I delete everything back off. And that's a big problem, because, like, in order for me to create a content, to share it, to work, actually, because this is my hobby, I have a passion with it. In order to do everything, I need to have the social medias or YouTube or whatever, but I cannot keep it in my phone. If I don't keep it in my phone, I don't have my PC with me all the time. So, like, you have to kind of, like, teach yourself how to actually, keep the social media, every app on your phone, and still not to struggle with the desire of going and scrolling. Because lately I've been I was getting a lot of videos in my recommendations about like why TikTok is not that dangerous as it seems, or why scrolling brain rot is not that bad. But the crazy thing is, I think certain people who are making these kind of videos are actually sellouts. It's kind of part of the advertisement, to be honest. You have to take your addictions quite serious, because if you watch certain people and they come out and they say like, oh, you know what, this kind of fine, yeah, you're not gonna struggle, it's actually perfect. But at the same time, what's the problem? Even like if these people are not sellouts, like the small YouTubers or other people who are making these kind of content, like defending the idea of the brain rot, scrolling, and the short content, but still, I think these are the people who got inspired by the bigger people who actually sell themselves out. Because first of all, in any instance, none of these guys are scientists. Yeah, in their videos they refer to certain scientific research, but to be honest, like we all know that a lot of scientific research have been manipulated easily, and it's very easy to manipulate with the data, especially when we had I think in the 60s and 50s, there was a huge amount, like cigarette companies, the tobacco companies, they used to pay a lot of scientists to actually prove that cigarette is actually healthy for your health. It's going to help you with when you're sick. It's quite crazy. We used to have advertisement with the woman smoking, which it's not a problem, but certain people were getting advised that during the pregnancy to smoke, which is quite crazy actually. And not only this, I think, I'm not sure 100%, but I'll make sure, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, I've seen even the posters from the old advertisement where there were even kids with the cigarettes in their hands, which is quite crazy to think about right now, correct? Since the age of smoking is 21 in the United States. But at that time, it was like, these kind of things used to happen. And a lot of these scientists were like, okay, yeah, that's fine, it's actually advised for your health to smoke. And I think same thing is happening right now, because I remember when 10 years old, there was 10 years 10 years back, when there was like first they legalized the weed and a lot of CBD products. There was like a lot of research, that helping, like supporting the idea of legalization, which was like, oh, you know what, you don't get addicted to cannabis, it's very healthy, it's these and that, which is, I quite agree that it's healthy, but at the same time, we know that a lot of people are addicted to the weed. It's healthy when you use cannabis oil in your like pain treatment and other stuff, but it's not healthy to smoke it every day, which a lot of people say like, oh, well, I'm not addicted, but that's bullshit. And I used to say the same thing when I started smoking. No, it's nothing. I'm just smoking one cigarette a week, one cigarette 3 days, each 3 days, one cigarette a day. Oh, 2 cigarettes a day. Well, I'm not like other people. I'm not smoking a pack of cigarettes a day, which eventually led to the point where I was increasing. But my maximum was like 4 cigarettes maximum, because me by myself, I didn't like to smoke. But imagine if I was a person who liked to smoke, because my friend used to smoke a pack a day. And that was crazy, because 20 cigarettes a day, that's kind of crazy. And he was jobless actually, and in my home country, cigarettes, they cost a lot of money. Compared to US, it's nothing, it's cheap, but still, for a person who is jobless in a country where the salary is average is $120 a maximum month, and the cigarette costs you like around $2, and smoking a pack a day is like around $60, which is like half of your average salary. It's kind of crazy, and that's the worst part, because you look at the addicted person, and they still manage somehow to find the cigarettes even if they don't have the money, or they take money to which they could have spent or anything else, but not the cigarettes, but they ended up spending it on cigarettes. And all of them say, oh, you know what, it's easy, I'm just young, I'm having fun, and I can start whenever I want, which is slightly bullshit. So yeah, and even right now we see the problem with the OnlyFans and pornography, which is a lot of people say, I remember when I used to be a kid, there was not a kid, I mean like a teenager, like 13, 14 years old, which was not that long time ago. And I've seen a lot of like scientific research say, oh, porn is actually it works for your benefit. You know, it allows the youngsters to learn about the sex and all of that thing. But and now we see what kind of problems there are around the world, and people are suffering from the porn addiction, and OnlyFans especially, because like lately, like recently, I've seen a video of a guy who's like very good looking guy actually, with a nice car, nice good looking, like he was very handsome and with the nice physique. The guy was like straightly 9 out of 10 at least. You know, he's like you look at him, he's like he's some sort of model. And he's like, oh, you know what? I'm suffering from porn addiction. I have like erection problems. I cannot get in a relationship and all of that thing. And it's kind of crazy, you know? Which is like nobody would have thought about it, you know? Like 7, 8 years ago. Like if you told someone like, porn is that damaging, people would have laughed at you, you know? And that's kind of big a problem. And the guy also admits that he spent like around 20K on OnlyFans. Imagine just fucking 20K. It's price of fucking new car. I'm not sure. No, not that new, but compare like 1-2 years old car, definitely. It's kind of crazy how the world changed and now everyone is realizing how porn is fucked up. And the same mistake we're doing right now is with the brain rot and the short form content and everything else. Because a lot of us, we actually noticed that we have a huge problem with concentration recently. You cannot concentrate. There has to be certain noise. There has to be something. But still, there are these idiots who are recording video why TikTok and short form content is actually not that problematic. Like we're already suffering from a lot of problems, from a lot of addictions. You got drugs around, very easy accessible. You got cigarettes, you got drinking, alcohol problems. You got pornography, you got OnlyFans, you got short form content. Like even the coffee by itself, like, I mean, I drink a lot of coffee. Like I'm not here, to teach people like, oh, you know what, coffee is bad because I drink it. But still, I know like how bad it hurts you, because whenever I stop drinking coffee throughout the day, if I don't drink it in the beginning of the day, that's it. My head hurts. Like I have constant headache, and I need to drink a coffee and start with one. And sometimes if the day is tough, I need to study, I need to do other things, it goes up like 2 cups, 3 cups, which is quite fucked up. And the first thing that we can do is actually admit that we are actually quite addicted to certain things. It doesn't matter if it's just a coffee or it's something more serious. The reason why I'm talking about the addictions is, beside my own struggles that I had with the cigarette and other things, I don't want to admit on a lot of things, since it might be that my family could have found this channel and watched it actually, and I'm quite shameful to admit it in front of them. But if there was a chance that nobody would have discarded this channel, I would have actually way more openly talk about it. But a lot of things that you can imagine that you're going through, I went through the same things. And it's very hard to control yourself, because sometimes when I used to change my habits and stop the things, I was like, well, that's fine. I can easily stop doing it. It was going nice, like first few days, maybe first week, maybe like even like the first 2 weeks. And then once your brain is like, oh, you know what? We've been not doing this for a long time. What if we just do it once? And you fall into that trap because you think, oh, it's fine. Something that I had with the cigarettes. Like 2 years, I was like, you know what? Okay, I'm going to be honest. I smoked a few times with my friends and the people who offered me a cigarette. Yeah, that happened. But it wasn't something like that much crazy, because it was like once in each like 4, 5, 6 months, one cigarette, which I don't think it's a big problem. But like constantly, like knowingly going and buying a pack, it's quite a big problem for me. Because I was, for 2 years almost, I was trying to avoid this lifestyle. And I actually did it successfully. I was never struggling. I never had like that kind of desire with cigarettes. But with the other things, like I'm not that type of person who actually struggles, because I know people who actually like they fight with their desires. They tell me how they suffer. I don't have that problem, but the problem that I have is actually my brain tricks me all the time. Because like I know he's tricking me. I know what's the deal, but I don't know why I keep falling into that trap. So yeah, addictions are kind of crazy. The only problem that I had, I think, it was the only problem that I had was the coffee, because like even recently, I never had a problem with the coffee, but like for some reason, like till recent times, like like 2 weeks ago, I noticed that I didn't drink coffee a day, and now my head was aching so badly, and I was super tired. I couldn't do anything. So yeah, addictions are kind of crazy. And if you think that you're fine, you're not having a problem, you're definitely having, if you just notice it. Because I used to also think like, oh, you know what, I'm fine. But deep inside of my heart, I was, I was noticing that something is off, something is wrong. And either it's very hard to not notice the addictions, but if you're not noticing it, it means like you're deliberately doing it. The first thing you have to do to overcome your addictions is to accept the fact that you're addicted, to accept the fact that you already fucked up. And it's perfectly fine. It's not a big problem, because so what? All right, this happened. I am this kind of person. I'm addicted to this certain things. You don't need to turn on the YouTube video, record about it, but you can if you want, but you don't have to. But you have to admit it to yourself, first of all. Not just coming out and telling, yo, you know what, I'm addicted to this, I'm addicted to that. No, just admit it to yourself that you're addicted. And second of all, just accept it that by being addicted, you're not a fool. You're not a loser. This is just a challenge that you're having in your path that you need to overcome. And you need to come up with something that's going to help you with that. But to be honest with the addictions, the only advice that I can give you guys is just stop doing it. That's it. You cannot just, simply remove one addiction with another. Because I used to know a person who's like, oh, you know what, I'm going to start taking tobacco pouch under my lips, and that's going to help me to overcome my smoking addiction. You know what happened over time? Just in like 3 months, I told him, don't do this. It's a bullshit. Just stop smoking. He's like, no, you know what? It actually helps me. I'm not smoking. And after 3 months, he started smoking and taking the tobacco pouch. That's it. That was so obvious, and that person it was literally like, it was visible that guy was tricking himself. And I used to tell him, don't do that. It's kind of crazy. Because even with me, like, even my own personal experience when I was overcoming a lot of challenges, I had more crazier people around me who've been addicted and doing things way worse than me. And no matter what happens, just stay away from drugs. I went through a lot of things and I never took drugs. Just stay away from this. This shit's gonna kill you. It's not a joke. Like, you can think, oh, it's just a weed. Yeah, certain people start with weed and stop it on weed. Or they try the weed first time and that's it. They're gonna not smoke it at all. Or certain people will smoke once a month. Once in, just like to celebrate something. That's it. But most of us, they're gonna get addicted. Most of us will be like, we're like, oh, it feels so good. I need to feel that too. And over time, you notice that you're not feeling it. You became panicking. You start panicking. You feel a lot of like anxiety, depression, and a lot of that things because of your smoking habits. You became lazy, stupid, and you cannot do anything. I never tried drugs in my life, but even my lifestyle that I had, it affected me so badly. Right now, I noticed that actually. I'm 22 years old, but I noticed that, my memory is not the same as it used to be. Because I remember when like 17, 18 years old, I used to sit in the lectures, like 1 hour of lecture, 1.5 hour of lecture. I could have easily remembered everything from A to Z by not doing anything, by not writing, by not documenting, by not doing anything. And I could have, like, even after 1 or 2 years, I could have easily tell about that topic. Like, I used to have very good memory. And even right now, I remember a lot of things in so many details, but it's not that it used to be. Like, I cannot do this anymore. Like, I cannot sit and listen for 1.5 hour lecture and tell everything from A to Z with all the details right now. which is quite messed up. Yes, a lot of people that have problem with memories, and with me being certainly kind of like gifted by God with this memory, still I messed up with that gift. My memory is not that good as it used to be. I cannot concentrate normally right now because of my addictions, because of the problems that I have. And a lot of people in my background, like around me, they all started with me, like, you know, by smoking. And it led to the point where when I was sitting in an apartment and I met few people who were smoking meth. And that was one of the worst experiences I've had in my life. Like, exactly like, if you watch Breaking Bad, you know, like how the Jesse was high on meth, and then he's looking at his window, and there is like two bikers coming, and they want to crush his house and kick him. But in reality, there is two. I think just Genoa's witness was literally knocking on his door, and that guy had like similar experience. I remember when they brought the meth and they're like, "Oh, who wants to smoke?" And we were young. I think I was 18 or 19 years old. It was 4 years ago. 4 years ago. And there were like few other people who I used to know. They were like 17, 16 years old, just in front of the kids. You know, that's a problem that's a problem with these kind of people. Addictive person, they don't care. You know, they can offer like their thing to whoever. Just be careful with your friends. Be careful with what kind of people are surrounding you, or what type of company you are planning to get into. Because like even me started smoking because everyone in my company used to smoke. There was not a single person who used to not smoke and drink, and it started just by that. You know, like first few months you're like, no, I'm not gonna do it, and eventually you start doing it, and you just smoke like so less, and they smoke like, you know, a pack a day, and you start smoking more with them. And the worst thing was like whenever like I used to smoke less, but like me by myself, I used to smoke 1 or 2 cigarettes a day. But whenever I used to sit with these people, I used to smoke 6, 10 cigarettes a day in few hours, like 3, 4 hours. That's it. You're done. Your brain is not like realizing what is happening to him, you know? And some addictive people right now can laugh at me like, oh yeah, just 10 cigarettes, a guy can't handle it. No, it's not about not handling it. It's because that's not what we have to do with our bodies, with our brains. What the hell is that noise? Oh yeah, my bad, guys. So going back to that drug experience, and the guy was like, he got high on meth, and he's like, we went to a cafe, and he's like looking at the group of people sitting over on the table, and he starts screaming like, oh yeah, I know these people, they're from FBI, they want to catch us, they want to trick us, you know, they want us to admit that we are high and all of that thing. He starts screaming in front of everybody. That was one of the worst experiences I had, because it's not simply like here in the US, you know. What the hell is that thing moving? My bad, guys. That thing is scaring me, actually. Last time I got scared by raccoons and coyotes, but and random person. This time by this thing. Okay, let's get back to the story. It was kind of one of the worst experiences. The guy is like screaming, "Oh yeah, I know this guy. They're from FBI. They're planning to, you know, to trick us." And back in my home country, it's not like in the US, you know. If they find you high on something, that's it. Even with weed, 8 to 10 years at least. You're done. You're gone. Not only you, but the people also surrounding you. And even if they're not high. And that was a crazy experience. We were close with that person. Not like close, but we knew, like, we used to hang out like twice a week, few hours. Because we had a few projects together to do. At the time, I was a music producer and quite talented. So, and a lot of people want to hang out with me. So, and that was the case. That's why I was like with certain like strange people. And with that person, I just told him, you know what, like, can you not like consume any drugs for some time? And he's like, oh yeah, yeah, because he wanted to work with me so much. He's like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna do it. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I give you my word that I'm not gonna do it. I was like, okay, fine, because I told him, if you keep doing this, I'm not gonna be around you. I don't want to sit there. And he's like, okay, yeah, you know what? It took it took him 1 week, and after 1 week of not consuming drugs, he was going crazy actually. I remember when I used to talk to him in the phone, and he suddenly out of nowhere he started like screaming and laughing, and he's like, "Oh yeah, no worries, bro. I'm fine. Don't pay attention." That was crazy. Like, the guy's recording me voice messaging, and he's like, recording. He's like, screaming, and then go back to normal voice, and he keeps talking to me. That was kind of crazy, you know. That was kind of like one of the worst experiences. That person never scared me, like, but his experience was a crazy thing to imagine, you know, through what person can go just because they cannot say to themselves no. They cannot stop. Why? Because they're addicted. They want to be addicted. That guy never regretted or wanted to change anything in his life. He's like, well, I'm fine. I want to live this way. But it was kind of crazy. And right now, it's very sad that I see even in my home country a lot of young people, they're going through the same problem. Like, you know, 7th, 8th grade in school, which is like not even high school. These kids are 14, 15 years old trying these kind of things. They all like heavily addicted. And just keep that in mind, that, you know, you have to change your company. You have to change the people around you. You know, you don't need to save these people. You don't need to hang out with these people, no matter how fun they are, no matter how uh, friendly they are. These are not your people. Stay away from this, because you start hanging out with certain people, and eventually you're gonna be one of them. Just simple as that. Tell me who are your friends, I'm gonna tell you who you are. Even if you're not one of them, you are actually one of them, because you're gonna turn into one of them. And that's the second advice, which is keep yourself away from weird people. Keep yourself away. The first advice was just stop it. Don't do it, no matter how it feels, no matter how tricking your brain is tricking you. And the second is keep yourself away from these kind of people. And the third is make yourself suffer. And that's the third advice. I'm gonna tell you what does it mean. Recently, I've noticed, not recently, for a long time, I've noticed that I cannot handle my life without constant noise in the background, such as video, music, or whatever. I need to constantly listen to something. I need to constantly something take my attention away, so I wouldn't sit and think about my problems. Because to be honest, my life is going fucked up, and a lot of problems are happening. And even without these problems, I used to turn on a lot of things on in order to avoid my thoughts, you know. And this is not the way. Give yourself some time. Give yourself some space. Some moment of silence. Turn off everything for 5-10 minutes at least a day. You can meditate. You can do yoga. You can do whatever you want, but find a way to be with yourself, with your thoughts, with your inner peace, with your inner voice. If it's not an inner peace, with your inner thoughts. No matter how scary they are, you have to listen to it. You have to deal with this. Because if you keep running away from it, you're going to eventually come up to a wall that you cannot ignore anymore. It's like a huge elephant in the room. And by you just not paying attention to that elephant, it doesn't mean that the elephant doesn't exist in the room. He's literally staying by your side. And the more you ignore him, the more problematic the elephant can get. Allow yourself to be with yourself, not run away from these thoughts. try to meditate, try to stay calm, like be with yourself, be out of the time, out of the matrix. Because I don't mean out of matrix. Oh, this is the cringiest shit I've ever said. I don't mean matrix in the certain character type of matrix, you know? That philosophy is bullshit. Because that idea of leaving the matrix is actually making you go part of another matrix. Being out of the matrix is being out of the current world surrounding you. We are the slaves. We are bought. We are constantly slave of something. Our life is built around certain things, certain habits. Our life is not built the way we want it to be built. We need to go to a certain place. We need to do certain things. We need to do certain things because we have to do. Just allow yourself to be out of all of these schedule, out of all of these crazy lifestyle for a moment. Be with yourself, open with yourself. When you can sit with yourself, there's not going to be anything that's going to distract you. It's just you and your thoughts. Sit by yourself, talk with yourself. Because if you keep ignoring, running away from yourself, you cannot run for eternity. Certainly you're going to hit a certain age. Why we have people having middle age crisis? And they go deep by their thoughts. I mean, I'm not a professional psychiatrist, but you know what I mean, right? A lot of these people also suffered that they messed up their youth. Like, you know, a lot of things happen. But if you sit by yourself, talk to yourself, you know, listen to your thoughts and pay attention to what is happening in your life, do some research, reevaluate your values, put some plans, do something. Even if you don't achieve anything, if you're not going to be as successful as you're planning, but still, you are constantly in touch with yourself. And it certainly will help you way more than just avoiding yourself. If you sit by yourself, that's the thing actually helped me to overcome my addictions. I used to sit and think why I'm smoking, why I'm doing this, why I'm doing that. And I mean, by this and that, I mean there's huge other bunch of addictions. And I used to just constantly think why I'm doing this, why all of these things are happening to me, why I'm allowing these things to happen, why I'm the slave of these things. Which led to the point where I was like, okay, you know what, I'm done. And I started changing my life slowly and slowly. Just by the fact that I was sitting and talking to myself and listening to myself. Which led to the point that I started actually taking actions and changing everything slowly, one by one. And which led to the point that I was not smoking for 2 years. Almost 2 years. Which I successfully break the streak, but that's it. I'm gonna go back to the track and try to avoid it as much as I could. And that's it for today, guys. Because don't be weak. If you think that you're weak right now by admitting the fact that you're addicted or something, but it's not. You have so much power inside yourself that you don't even understand. You have even no idea how much power you got. And the only thing that you can do is actually realize that power. The only thing that you can do is actually, you know, sit by yourself, admit your mistakes, think what you can do to make your life better. And you're going to find enough energy to change all of these things. You deserve better life. You deserve better situation. You deserve better condition. But, you know, sometimes the life is like this, you know. By the fact that you deserve doesn't mean you're going to get it. You have to actually pick your ass up and go and take that thing. Take what you think you deserve. So for today, that's it. I'm sorry that a lot of thoughts I was keep like constantly digging into certain points. I mean with the inner thoughts, I was literally talking like 8 minutes, I don't know, 8 to 10 minutes about the same thing. But yeah, I hope you get the main point. Hope this video is interesting. Thank you very much for watching this video. God bless you all. No matter what is happening to you, you can always go down to comment section and write about it, or go and talk to your close people once a week or twice a week. I check the comments. I'll try to help you. Or if you don't want to come up on the internet, you can go and talk to your close people. Or if you don't have anybody, just try to talk with yourself about what is wrong with you, is what is happening, like something weird is happening, and what kind of advice you need. Because even if you think that you're lost, trust me, your inner voice, your inner thoughts, they can come up with something smart and interesting that will actually help you. Once again, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you all having a great day, good evening, good morning. Love you all. Bye bye.